I don't have a presentation for you, I know. Guy from Microsoft gets up and dares speak without PowerPoint. They might kick me out after this. I want to tell you a story. It's a personal story, actually. And I changed what I was going to talk about after hearing that you guys were educators. Show of hands, how many are educators? It's great. So my mom's a teacher. My sister's a high school principal. My older sister's an educational consultant, psychologist, and come from a family full of educators. My son, I have two, 8 and 6. My 8-year-old has profound ADHD, and it's not something I think my wife and I were really well versed on until we had to deal with it. And working at Microsoft, I've had the great fortune to be able to afford a lot of support for him and his learning. And it's still hard. Every day is an adventure, and we're really excited. He just got his first NAPLAN test back, and he did really well. And my wife and I cried because we just did not expect that from a kid who a year ago was not reading. And why I'm sharing this is to talk to the power of mixed reality. I sit on the Hololens team. I got to use this probably before anyone in Australia. And I got to take it home under lock and key. He was 6. And I supervised him. You should not put it, let me say, you should not put it on anyone's head under 13, but I pay his medical bills. So I was willing to risk it for the opportunity. And I put it on, and he kind of looks at a hologram of the galaxy. And this is not what I expect from him. I expect a really verbal, really excitable, highly distracted kid. And this kid engaged like nothing I have ever seen before. He studied it. He asked a lot of questions after the experience, but for the first 10 minutes, did not say a word. And I was worried. I actually thought that I'd broken my son. And I took it off of him, and there was a carryover effect. And if you read psychology, and they talk about how your brain processes things and how audio triggers connections into visual and vice versa, there was this kind of lingering effect where he was very, very, very calm. He was not medicated. And I asked him, I said, Louis, what do you think about this? And this is a kid who was struggling in year 1. And he said, I wish we had holograms in school. And I'm thinking to myself, of course you do. I mean, they're holograms. Who does not want holograms in school? And I said, oh, that's interesting. Why do you say that? And he said, because it would be impossible for me not to be able to pay attention. And it blew me away. And it has actually, in my role at Microsoft, informed me of a perspective about this technology that I did not have before the 6-year-old with ADHD laid some ground truth on me. And why I'm sharing that story is, I think, as educators, and I heard you say this, there is this race about tech and getting access to the newest tech and the expensive tech and having to manage it and it is a race. And people will sell this stuff into you. And for the first time in my life, I saw something beyond that. I met with Mark Christian, who is the global head of Pearson Immersive Learning. And we had a great meeting about some of the things we're doing in mixed reality. And at the end of the meeting, I said, can I ask you a question? And I shared this story with him. I said, what research are you doing for kids with different sensory responses in mixed reality, augmented virtual mixed reality, around engagement? he looked at me, he goes, I don't think anybody's ever asked me that question before. I said, I never thought about it until a 6-year-old told me to think about it. And they have kicked off a stream of work around this. And what I hope comes out of it, and my fingers are crossed, and I've met with other parents with kids like mine, what I hope comes out of it is technology helping with an educational outcome, because all of a sudden a kid in your class has finally seen something that lets him see the world like we see the world, and lets you see the world like they see the world. And I really wanted to share that perspective with you tonight. Don't get lost in the sizzle. I don't get lost in the sizzle. And with that, I want to thank you for letting me speak, and enjoy the rest of your night.